I'm Dr. Joubin Gabbay. I'm a board-certified plastic surgeon in Beverly Hills. Today, we're going to talk about how to become a plastic surgeon. I'm going to give you my story of how I got here. I think that if you want to be a plastic surgeon, or honestly want to get into any creative field, we're going to give you some really good insight and tips on how to get there. Also, I want to ask you something. If you've been watching my videos, if you've been enjoying my videos, it would be a huge, huge help to me if you would go ahead and like the video below and throw down some comments. Look, it's flattering to me, but let's face it, it also helps the algorithm, and that's the most important thing in life right now, isn't it? I would love that. Thank you. Be sure to stick around for the whole video. At the end of today's video, I'm going to give you my top 5 tips on how I think you can become a plastic surgeon. This is important if you want to be a plastic surgeon, or honestly, if you want to get into any creative, competitive field. So we got a lot to cover, and let's just dive into it right now. Started with high school, finished that. I went on to UC San Diego for college. There I studied molecular biology and art. I then went on to the Medical College of Virginia in Richmond for medical school. After that, I went to Cedars-Sinai for surgery training. Can I stop somewhere in the middle, or do I need to do the whole thing again?
Say after that.
Okay. After that, I went to Cedars-Sinai for training in general surgery. That's a 5-year program. In the middle of those 5 years, I actually took a break and did research for 2 years at UCLA studying plastic surgery. I did research in craniofacial plastic surgery, working with kids who had congenital issues that we helped fix. After the 2 years of research, went back to Cedars, I finished up my general surgery training, and then I went on to UCLA for my formal training in plastic surgery. I did another year of research in complex reconstructive surgery, and then I was pushed out into the universe and finally had to start working. Plastic surgery for me is just it's this thing that is the culmination of all the stuff I was interested in my life. It is incredibly technical. You need to know a lot of very intricate details when you do something. You need to know a lot about technology that's emerging all the time. You also need to just know very specific steps of how to do an operation. In plastic surgery, literally I get to play with someone's anatomy to solve a problem. It's so fun. It's so interesting. It's so gratifying. And I say fun for me, for the patient, for everyone. It just is the thing that makes me happy and is the reason why I went into this field. What has happened over the last several years is a shift towards a different training model for plastic surgery, where now I would say the vast majority of plastic surgeons who are trained will go directly into a plastic surgery training program after medical school, and typically are in that program from anywhere from 5 to 7 years. A couple years less than what I did, and I think for the better. How do you run a business? You gotta hire people, you've got to get insurance, you've got to get an office, you need to make them run, you need to be efficient. That's a huge education, and that is something that I learned from doing it and from talking to people. I think the biggest thing that is the hallmark of a plastic surgeon in 2019 and has exploded over the last generation is marketing. Marketing is the biggest thing in how you succeed as a plastic surgeon. And I'm not just talking about, let's say, taking an ad out in the yellow pages or getting a billboard up or whatever. It's all different now. Social media is king. Social media is the single greatest thing because you are able to show the world what you do. Now, some people are really, really slick at getting it out there. Some are not, some are in the middle. That's an education. And this is everything that we do now. There's YouTube, there's Instagram, there's Facebook, there's Snapchat, there's TikTok, there's everything. That's one thing. But there are more traditional and alternate forms of marketing that we think about. There's Yelp, there's Google AdWords, there's Google SEO, there's your website, there is real self. There's, I don't know, Angie's List. There's whatever. I've had conversations about freaking Pinterest with people, okay? For plastic surgery, yeah. You have to brand yourself. You have to define who you are as a person, and you really think about how you want to put yourself out to the world. And I love it. I think that's one of the most exciting things about what I do as a plastic surgeon, as a practicing plastic surgeon every day. One important thing to point out is that the way I do plastic surgery, the type of practice that I have, is only one way of doing it. Now, this is sort of the private practice model that is definitely something many of us do. There are other ways of practicing as a plastic surgeon. Sort of the other side of the coin is probably to go the more academic route, where you are hired by a university, you are working for them, with them, and do a more academic type of practice. It is more focused in the development of the field from an academic standpoint, doing research, training residents, and working in a more administrative type of thing. One other way you could do it is working for a big hospital system. The classic idea there is sort of like the doctor who works for Kaiser Permanente, where they're not necessarily in an academic setting, but they are hired by the hospital, they're given patients by the hospital, and they just knock it out day in, day out. They get the work given to them, they take care of it, they go home. They don't have to worry about necessarily running a business, doing marketing, doing advertising. They just focus on getting that job done. Then there are the more sort of unique plastic surgery practices. There are some who work exclusively in international missions, and plastic surgery, I will tell you, is probably the specialty that does the most humanitarian work. And then a little more niche industries, burn surgery and things like that, where, you know, it's a different type of practice. So there are a lot of ways to do this business. Okay, tip number one. Find yourself a mentor. Find yourself someone who is really entrenched in the plastic surgery community and is contributing to it. You can help do research with them, you can shadow them, you can learn from them, and you can understand truly what it means to be a plastic surgeon if it's the right thing for you. The earlier you get involved, the more confident you'll be with a decision, and also the more stuff you'll do that will prove to the community that you are a right fit for it. Okay, tip number two, be creative. Look, plastic surgery obviously is a creative field. You actually saw a little while ago in my earlobe video where I showed that for fixing an earlobe, it's just a silly little earlobe, right? There is not even close to just one way to do it. You're constantly looking at things, you're reevaluating it, you're personalizing it for each individual case. So every operation has its own variabilities that need you to be creative to find the best solution. Number three, be a part of the community. Look, especially in the private practice world, it can get lonely. You get into your office, you get into your operating room, you're focused, you're doing everything yourself, and you kind of lose perspective. It's super important to stay connected to the world around you. Have friends, have colleagues, talk to them, exchange ideas, exchange frustrations, and just shit talk. It's fun, it's good for you, it makes you a better person, makes you a better surgeon. Number four, don't cheat. You heard me talk about this in my video on plastic surgery disasters. Sometimes taking the easy route, doing something that is not totally accepted by the community, can cause absolute disasters. One of the most important things about being a competent, safe, and effective plastic surgeon is not only knowing how to do the operation well, but more importantly, knowing what to do if something goes wrong. Number five, have a life. We all work, we're all smart, we're all dedicated, and it's so easy to just bury yourself in work. There's always work to be done. There are always people who need you. There's always time to spend in your practice, but you have to stop. You have to have a life. You have to enjoy your life, enjoy your family, enjoy your hobbies, and get the hell out of the office. It's gonna make you a more relaxed person. It's gonna give you joy in your life, And ultimately, I promise you, it's gonna make you better at your job. Okay, this is obviously something that is very personal to me. It's the story of how I got to where I am, and I really hope it can help you get to where you want to be it in plastic surgery or any creative or challenging field. I want to know, tell me in the comments below, which of my tips do you think helped you, and do you think you're going to start working on this week to get you to where you want to go? That's number one. Number two, I would really love to know, what other tips do you have for other people who want to become plastic surgeons? Help for me in making myself better. Tell us down below. I'll see you next time, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video.